Man, so I gotta get another one. Oh, I realized such a great song. Good morning, everyone, and good morning and welcome to those of you on Facebook Live and YouTube. Today is Sunday, May 25th, 2025, and this is Home Center's Sunday service. Welcome. If you'd like to join me in opening prayer. Let's breathe in all the goodness and all the sweetness that is Spirit. We are here today with open hearts, seeking healing, peace, and joy. Bless our community and guide us with your bright and ever shining light to strengthen our support for one another and to recognize our many, many abundant blessings that we are so grateful for. As we listen today with our hearts open, let us remember those who cannot be with us today and send a little love their way. Amen, and so it is. And now I'd like to invite Reverend Madge to the podium.
Thank you. All righty. So I want to quickly, during our welcome, I was recognizing our veterans today on Memorial Day, and then Jane came in later. So I want to recognize you as well, Jane, as one of our veterans. She still runs the world like an Army nurse. And we love it. I love it. Isn't that right, Richard? You love it too, right? Yeah, and son, yes. She's the best. All right, so my message today is walking the beauty way, as you might have guessed by our opening song or the special music I selected. So I've heard for a long time the term walking the way of beauty or walking the beauty way. And I've had a notion or a perception of what that is. You know, you kind of assume what that is. It's like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. Or what it meant. But for a while now, I've thought, I really don't know. I really don't know the depth of what that means. And so I've been asking Spirit to understand it more deeply. Well, you ask and you shall receive, right? So I've been receiving all kinds of information on it and opportunities to observe it in action and think, wow, thank you. I forget to ask sometimes. So I want to share with you what I've been learning so far. And I'm sure there's many rabbit holes and perspectives that I've yet to learn. But here's what I want to share with you what I've learned so far. For one, it's not about being pretty. Darn it. Don't tell my little, I'm a god grandma to three little girls. And the middle one, I went and saw them yesterday and she had all this lipstick up here. That's where she puts, but she gets ready and puts on her makeup every day. She's not even, I don't know how old she is, 3 maybe. And so she puts her lipstick up here. And then she's pretty. Don't tell her otherwise. It's so cute. So anyway, walking the beauty way is not about being pretty or saying nice things because you're supposed to. Or having that house, in the yard that's perfectly aesthetically, nice and pleasing. It's a whole philosophy. Walking the beauty way is a lifestyle. It's a philosophy. It's a way of being spiritual. It's a spiritual path. It's about right doing and right thinking. And it's about our values and how we live them. What are our values? And are we true to our values? Are we true to our word? Are we being in harmony with nature? And it's about being in right relationship with our brothers and our sisters, other humans, our humanity, brothers and sisters. It's about living from the heart and being in conscious relationship with the divine. And walking the beauty way is a native term, typically. And I was listening to a Navajo elder teaching about walking the way of beauty. And he said it's a willingness to have moral endurance. Don't you love that term? That kind of nailed me for a minute when I heard that. Moral endurance. To live a life that seeks goodness. And that sounds easy. Seeking a life of goodness sounds easy. But do we really adhere to it? Do we really live that life through that life of goodness for ourselves and for others? And what does that really mean? And I've heard that. It's like, what does that really mean? And I explored that thought around. And, one of the examples that comes to my mind was this person that, well, I'll come to that story in a minute. So seeking goodness, I'm jumping ahead of myself. It means going that extra mile when you don't really feel like it, when you're tired and you think, I really should, but yeah, but it's going that extra mile. It's giving back to that which gives to us. And, the native culture is all about the gift giving. They're really about that. And it's overwhelming to me. It's like, really? I have to come up with another gift? Oh dear, now what? So it's beautiful though. It's a beautiful practice of giving back to that which gives to you. Giving to the home center and being of service to our community is a perfect example of that. We get spiritual upliftment from here and from each other, and we get a comfort sometimes. So having the opportunity to give back in whatever way we can is part of that exchange. Are you hot too? I'm really hot. Is it hot in here?
No.
Oh, no. No, it's not hot in here. It's just you and me, the front and the back. Yeah, I'm thinking about taking off my sweater. I'm all hot. All right. So anyway, having the moral endurance to know that your needs are always met. That's a moral endurance, to not go into fear and know your needs are always going to be met. It means having compassion when someone has wronged you. That's a hard one. That's really hard sometimes. I'm going to have to take off my sweater.
You want the back door open maybe?
Well, I don't want to freeze people out. I'll be fine. All right. And so the moral endurance can also mean not engaging in someone's drama, their personal drama, when they're trying to pull you in and finding that compatibility and weaving you into their story, or engaging them, standing up and fighting for right principle, but with kindness, holding your ground in a kind way in those kind of circumstances is hard. It's not easy. We want to be we want to be in alignment with, but we have to be in alignment with this way, not this way. Yeah. According to this elder, they start every prayer with words that translate to, "May I walk the beauty way path." I thought that's a beautiful way to start a prayer. May I walk the beauty way path. The elder teaches that the beauty way path requires that you have a relationship with a deity or a holy person. So in our language, we might say a relationship with spirit or with God or the divine, whatever that is for you, that is the pathway to that which is greater. Once you make the commitment to walk the way of beauty, you're going to be challenged. Life will just do that. You're going to be challenged. You're going to have something in your path that's going to give you choice. And something is going to come up. When we make our mind up to change, I'm going to change. Or I think I'm going to think differently about this. Or I'm going to do better. Or I'm going to, do something that's going to improve my world. We're going to be challenged to say, really, do you mean it? Are you sure? How about tomorrow? Start tomorrow. That's a better day. You're tired today. So that's normal. It's natural. And it's testing us to see what are you really made of. Do you really mean it? And to mean it and to do it is the path of beauty, because you're being integrous to yourself. You're honoring yourself. I had the opportunity of observing someone. I have had the opportunity of observing someone over the years. And he thinks of himself as this really humble person. And however, I've observed on occasions when he's very proud of his humbleness. Look at me be humble. It's like, not getting it. Not seeing it. And life will tempt him with these opportunities to weave into the conversation about his level of humbleness so that you know that he's humble. It's like, really? That's not quite matching what I think. It always makes me chuckle. If he didn't do it, I'd probably be disappointed. Like, dang, now I don't have anything to have a giggle about. But I'd be proud. Yeah. I would be proud. Finally, we really are humble. Yeah. So when we decide that we're not going to engage in a particular kind of behavior, life will put right in front of us the opportunity for choice, as I said, and to see if we are committed to our elevating our vibrational frequencies. That would be a term how we would say it maybe in a metaphysical term. We're stepping into higher ground, we're elevating our vibrational frequency. And how committed are we to our words? And it's hard. It's really hard. Sometimes, we want to take shortcuts, the easier path, or the faster way. I'm always looking for a faster way. What's the fastest route between point A and point B? Because I just want to get there. And growth doesn't always happen that way. Growth happens this way and that way. We stumble in a hole, we climb back out, we finally get there to point B. So we cheat ourselves all of those lessons if we don't take the time or honor our journey and allow ourselves to fall down and pick ourselves back up and dust off and be stronger for it. The elder also talks about keeping our promises. There was a day when our word and a handshake was our contract. That was the final contract. And that's honor and that's integrity. And it's loving yourself enough to hold yourself with honor. And these are the ways that if our society could get back to, we'd all be in a much better place. I remember the day when we had to start locking our car and locking our front door and locking up when we left. It never occurred to us. In the beginning, when I was little, it never occurred to us to take the keys out of the ignition. We didn't need to. It wasn't even a part of our awareness. Just get out of the car and go in the house. You never lock the door at night. Didn't need to. And I remember the first time that my folks started locking up the car and locking our front door when we had to leave. And it was like I lost a piece of my innocence as a child in a way, because I didn't even know enough to fear the world. And then all of a sudden there was this element of fear. There's this element of, oh, it's not safe. And the consciousness, that consciousness coming into my awareness, I remember the feeling of it really profoundly. And I didn't like it. I'm going to move to Iceland, where they still don't lock their cars and their doors. If you're out in the country in Iceland, they leave their doors unlocked and their keys and their ignition and their equipment because somebody may be in trouble and they may need it. And they have this beautiful way of being in honor of each other. And nobody would destroy each other's things or steal from them. It's all there to help. And it's like, can we just please go back to that? It would be so nice. I really appreciate that. So after 9/11, we had a couple that moved here to Salem. They were from New York City, and they lived not too far from here. They were a young couple, and they started coming here to Home Center. And I got invited over to their home. It was summertime. It was hot. They had no AC. And I was astonished because they kept all their windows and doors closed and locked at all times. Came in the door, shut the door, lock it. Whew. Something might, boogeyman might come in or something. And it was so hot in that house. And I thought, oh my God, just open a window and let the breeze come through. And I suggested that to her. I said, well, it'd be, your backyard, kitchen window, it's kind of hot. Just open the window and let the breeze come through, or crack your front door. There were even children playing out in the street, in the yard. I mean, it was perfectly safe. and she couldn't do it. She almost panicked at the idea of unlocking a door or a window, even in that sweltering heat. And I felt so bad, but what they were so conditioned to crime that they couldn't see themselves without it. Even in a world that was safe, they were still living through the lens of crime, and they couldn't adjust to the idea that children are out there playing and they're safe. People are out in their yards gardening. There isn't crime happening in this moment, but they couldn't see it. And it made me wonder, where am I blind to my old programming? They were blind to their programming. And where am I blind to my programming that's not real in my present moment? Because I'm sure we all have it. We all have those things that we're reacting to that aren't real in this moment. So it was a good example of seeing that. Another thing the elder points out is that the beauty way path is important to work with your deity or your holy person and let them help you to pray. In this way, they spend a lot of time and energy in prayer, and to pray that you're shown the way and to be shown your guidance. And it's a wonderful reminder for me to drop into my heart and to be present in a more conscious way with the God or the divine of my view, of my belief system, and as it is for yours. And this partnership with spirit is so important, and it's so easy to lose track of in our busy lives. I'll do that later. For me, I'll get my cup of coffee first, and then I get distracted, and then I forget to do the things that are important to the soul. The Beauty Way path is a path of prayer, dedication, commitment, and determination. And the elder advises not to get off the path, because once you get off, it's really, really hard to find your way back. But you can. So he's taught that it's just better not to get off. Just stay on the path. And that way you don't have to fight to get your way back. I like that, appreciated that. So what you get out of walking the Beauty Way path is a close relationship to spirit or the divine. You gain confidence, happiness, and peace of heart. And those are all very, very important. And there are four, these are the four main elements of the Beauty Way. And they are joy, happiness, confidence, and peace. Those are the foundational elements. Interesting that there's four, as in the four directions. There's four foundational elements. Number four being a solid square, a solid form. So, when the happiness and joy made sense to me. Laughter is so important. Laughter is just medicine for the soul. But I didn't really understand the confidence. How is confidence a pillar of walking the Beauty Way? And what he was teaching was about joy and happiness. That made sense to me. But the confidence part is about your self-esteem. How do you see yourself? How do you believe in yourself? Do you have confidence in your own ability to live life in a good way, even? We get our confidence from our parents, from our teachers, from our elders. They very often are the key point, the key pivotal people in our lives that give us that piece of confidence. And I remember learning in psychology class that as long as a person or a child had one individual that believed in them, that gave them that, they would most likely be okay. They just needed one person that sees them. So it's so important for us to support each other in our own confident way to build their confidence. And it's especially important for the younger ones that are still figuring out life, still trying to figure out who they are. And sometimes you hear stories of someone that reminds you of a person in your childhood, that saw you. It's so important to be that person to others that saw you. Sometimes we can reflect back on our childhood. This person didn't understand me. My parents didn't understand me, so and so. But the neighbor lady, she saw me for who I was. And that being seen in that way is what gives that child confidence. to be seen. So we need to be that to others. Let us be the people that see others for who they really are on their soul. I saw a picture on the internet that really captured my attention, and it was a photo of a man standing on the ledge of a bridge. This happened in London, and through the metal poles of the bridge were all these arms reaching around and hanging on to him. He had lost all hope. He didn't have any reason to live here in this life anymore, and he was going to just go to the other side. But a stranger happened to walk by, or was going by, stopped and went over to him and grabbed a hold of him and said, "No, no, you don't need to do that." And pretty soon another stranger stopped, and pretty soon there's a whole crowd of these people hanging on to him. They had ropes tied around his legs and his waist. Arms were hanging on to him on several rounds about him. And it was so beautiful. In a moment, he went from not having a single reason to live, not feeling seen, don't want to be here, to having every reason to live. All these people giving him words of encouragement, all the reasons why he needed to stay until they could get help to lift him off. The bridge was too high to get anybody to lift him over safely, so they tied him to the railing. It was beautiful. Wow, it made me cry just reading the article. I just cried at the love and the compassion that everybody showed for him. They weren't criticizing him, telling him how stupid he was, and any of that. It was all the reasons that he was a beautiful soul, even though they didn't know him. These were all from strangers. And I just thought it was so beautiful. That's walking the beauty path, the beauty way path. One of the difference I've noticed while learning this is that these teachings are grounded. In metaphysics, we go up. We reach for spirit. We reach for something outside of us. We're reaching for messages. We're in this outward motion. But this teaching is downward. It's grounded. It's getting solid. And I really appreciated that. To me, it's a nice balance between the two ways of thinking. Not that any one is better than the other, but it's solid and such a good balance for going in downward into the earth. If you even notice, Native Americans dancing is downward. Their feet are down onto the ground. Their motions, their energy is downward into the earth. Whereas African dancing is up. They have more jumping, more upward motions. So it's a beautiful balance between the two. In the middle, the rest of us are all over the place. But those are the two balances. And to me, this path is a downward, grounded, solid, foundational type of teachings. So often in metaphysics, we get all excited about that feel-good endorphin, that message we got, that next thing that is the hit. We oftentimes get the hit out of our world, and that's great, but it's not all there is. We need to get grounded into the things that aren't quite so exciting. Looking for that next excitement. These are grounded. These are principles of beauty way path that are the foundation of humanity. And they're the building blocks of a good life. And as you know, when you're building a house, the most important part of building a home is its foundation, not decorating it. So this is more of like the foundation of life, the foundation of how we need to be with each other in humanity. And then later we can put the decorations on and get all excited about how pretty it is, So it's that kind of a difference. If we only decorate, then the system will collapse, right? The house will collapse without a foundation. So these are foundational ways of being. They're not romantic and outwardly exciting, but they're so important. And our life is that same way. The beauty path is foundational. So the prayer of beauty, of the beauty way path, is praying for the four foundational elements of joy, happiness, confidence, and peace. And I'm going to read to you the prayer that is the shortened version of the whole thing. The whole thing is quite long, but I'm going to read to you their prayer. I walk in beauty. No, that's not right. In beauty I walk. In beauty I walk. With beauty before me I walk. With beauty behind me, I walk. With beauty above me, I walk. With beauty around me, I walk. It has become beauty again. 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 So they say that 4 times at the end. So this means to walk with joy, happiness, confidence, and peace before me. You think of it before me, meaning to keep your sights on the path in front of you, to keep from being distracted from the sides off the path. You think of it as a pathway and stay on the path and not be distracted with what's on the right or the left of you. I walk in joy, happiness, and confidence and peace behind me, meaning that you leave behind you in your wake of life, you leave those elements, you leave joy, happiness, confidence, and peace behind you. You don't leave destruction, don't leave hard feelings, don't leave all these other things that are disruptive to other people's lives. Behind us, we want to leave those elements as our memory, as how people will remember us. I walk with joy, happiness, confidence, and peace above me. We think of it as above us, meaning that you're consciously being in right relationship with the divine, in whatever that is for you, their higher self, the great spirit, the council, the grandmothers, whatever that is that you relate to that's greater than you. That's what you're associating with above you, knowing you are being guided and protected. I walk with joy, happiness, and confidence and peace below me, meaning that you're grounded with humility, meaning that you're living a life of deep gratitude. Gratitude for the earth, the mother, the giver of all life, walking tenderly on every step that you take upon the earth, consciously and tenderly. I walk with joy, happiness, confidence, and peace all around me, meaning you filled your aura with those elements, with those qualities. And that's the way that you see the world, and that's how you experience the world. And you know you have the ability and the courage to live these great principles. And even though they're not glamorous, they are the foundation of a deeply spiritual life. So may we all learn to walk the beauty path, the beauty way path. So rather than a meditation, I have where did it go? Oh, it's on the floor right there. I have something that was written by Chief Seattle. So this is something that was written by him. He was a great man. And he says, teach your children what we have taught our children, that the earth is our mother. Whatever befalls the earth befalls the sons and daughters of the earth. If men spit upon the ground, they spit upon themselves. This we know, the earth does not belong to us, we belong to the earth. This we know, all things are connected, like the blood which unites one family. All things are connected. Whatever befalls the earth befalls the sons and daughters of the earth. We do not weave the web of life. We are merely a strand in it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. Chief Seattle. Isn't that good? Yeah. So there you have it. Now we get the challenge of walking the beauty way path. Yeah. Not an easy one, but we can do it. All right. So let's do the offering to the home center. And let's give it a blessing. Thank you. Let's give it a blessing of our heart, a blessing of knowing that all of our needs are already met. And we're so grateful. And the home center receives it gratefully with an open heart. And we see it circulating through the home center, going back out into the universe and coming back to you, blessed and multiplied 100-fold, blessing you with all of your wants, needs, and desires that are going to serve your highest and your greatest good. and let it be so. Amen. All right. Something crossed my mind, and what was it? Well, it came and it went. So I'm going to turn it over to Lynn for inspirational story and a closing prayer.
I don't know how inspirational it is, but I thought it was cute.
Cute is good.
Cute. There was this man, and he was quite a lonely man, and he decided that he wanted to get a pet. But it had to be a special pet, not a dog or a kitty, or it had to be so special because he thought he was special, and he is. So he goes to the pet store and he's looking all around and looking all around, and he sees this centipede. And the little centipede, they're bugs and they have 100 little legs. And he looked at that and he said, "Oh, that's what I'm taking home." So they gave him a little box to build a home for the little centipede, and he put him in the box. And he took him home, and his new friend, he was so happy. He talked to him and talked. And so it was Sunday morning, and he went into the box and he said, "Do you want to go to church with me?" Not a word was said. No. He waited a while. "I said, do you want to go to church with me?" And he said, And he finally went, "I said, do you want to go to church with me?" And the little voice came from the inside and says, "Just give me a break. I'm trying to put my shoes on." I feel like the centipede sometimes. I like shoes.
That was cute.
And now for our closing prayer. If you'd like to join me. Mother, Father God, we thank you for our abilities to speak, to think, and to act in harmonious ways. We are grateful, very grateful, for the peaceful connection with all living things on this planet. Help us to maintain a loving balance in mind and body and spirit with the words we speak and the thoughts we think. When we breathe in the oneness of the universal good that is in us and all around us, we are able to magnify peace, harmony, and balance in our personal lives and share it with our community. And so it is. Thank you, Facebook and YouTube Live, for closing today. And please, you can all take a little message that was given to us into our hearts and share it with our communities. From our heart to yours. Have a wonderful week.